This is great, in fact, amazing news. We all wanted Calum to wake up, not have any long-term damage, and be able to get back to his former self. Coach Greg, and I'm finally happy to announce that there is some good news in the Calum Von Moger updates. Nick Trilogy from Bodybuilding and BS has finally announced that Calum Von Moger is now awake.
I really don't want to come on here every day or every other day and talk about Calum Von Moger unless there's something substantial to report, like something like this.
And so a lot of people had said, this is fake news, that we're creating drama for views, that Calum hadn't actually gone through all this trauma, that we're making up lies. Well, he's awake from the trauma that wasn't in fact a lie, and he's in fact doing better than expected.
The reason they were keeping him in a coma for so long is because he had a lot of trauma to his head and his brain.
Despite the fact that he was placed into a coma to prevent further damage, he is now awake and has no brain damage.
Now, he's definitely not paralyzed as far as I know.
And so that's the good news. So he doesn't have brain damage, and it appears that he will be able to walk once again.
But obviously, if you get surgery done to your spine, if there's broken bones, that's going to be a very long recovery.
When you're laying in bed in a coma, not moving for this long, your muscles will severely atrophy. And when you perform surgery, especially on your spine, it can take months, if not years, to get back to normal. Also, let's not forget that this guy most likely had a severe addiction to recreational drugs. And so when you wake up in a hospital bed after going through all of this, after getting out of a coma, having surgery on your spine, that is not an easy thing to overcome. And so not only does he have to overcome these surgeries, the drug addiction, he has to work on his mental health as well. That is a lot to work on for one individual.
I would never wish this on my worst enemy going through something like this. So let's all send him some love, and hopefully he's able to recover and get his life back together after all this.
And so I hope I'm speaking for everyone when I say that we all hope that Calum makes a speedy recovery, that he can get back to his former self, that he finds happiness yet again, that he doesn't use or abuse recreational drugs ever again, that he can find yet again a reason to live, a reason to be happy once more.
And I know a lot of his fans out there probably want to know how he's doing. Is he fully recovered? Is he going to be okay? When are we going to see him post again?
And so obviously with these fractures in his spine and the fact that he's just woken up out of the ICU, it's not going to be anytime soon that we can see Calum Von Moger making videos of him training, working out, and giving fitness tips for his many fans. However, he can now at least be on his road to recovery.
At the time when I was reporting him in ICU, the reason they were keeping him in a coma for so long is because he had a lot of trauma to his head and his brain.
And so the reason he was in a coma for so long, it's not because he couldn't get out of the coma. It's because the doctors chose to leave him in a coma in order to alleviate the pressure on his brain. And so they sedated him, left him in a coma induced by the doctors, and woke him up once they felt it was safe.
That is all we can ask for here after what he just put himself through. I think this is a win. I think this is a great positive report for Calum Von Moger.
And I have to agree with Nick. This is great, in fact, amazing news. We all wanted Calum to wake up, not have any long-term damage, and be able to get back to his former self. In contrast, it could have been a lot worse. Imagine he wakes up and he has brain damage. He can't think the way he used to. Perhaps he would have been paralyzed. And so again, if you're suffering from mental illness, you're sad, depressed, you don't know what you should do, please tell other people, get the medical and professional help that you need. There is no need or reason to suffer alone.
He's got to be able to kick this habit on top of recovering, which, just kicking a drug habit is hard enough, let alone recovering from a serious injury like this.
And so none of this is going to be easy. Kicking a drug habit alone, that takes a lot of work. Add to that the fact that he's lost a lot of muscle, that he's laying in bed, that he has to again get back to his former self. This is no easy task.
So the next update, I do come on here and talk about him. It will be hopefully when he's back home and I know his condition and more, and I know what's going on more.
And so as he's laying in a hospital bed, it's highly unlikely that they're going to be giving him performance-enhancing drugs or even a proper PCT. And so as he's laying there, not using PDs, not given a proper PCT, not exercising, you can expect his muscles to continue to atrophy. And so imagine how hard that is on the mind. To see yourself a former Mr. Olympia champion and IFBB pro laying in bed with an injury and seeing the muscles that you used to have, that you worked so hard for, to dramatically get smaller. And so hopefully he realizes that health is wealth, that being alive, whether or not you have massive muscles, that is not what's most important. What's most important is being happy. And if he goes through the rehab, both physically and mentally, can feel better again, he can then go on to training, build up the muscles, perhaps not to the extent as he once had, and be a healthy Calum, both mentally and physically, and live a long and healthy life.
For now, that's all I got for you guys about Calum Von Moger. Let's all pray for him. Let's all wish him a speedy recovery.
If you want to be on top of Calum's updates, you can subscribe to Bodybuilding and BS. Nick Trigili, likely the first person to report the news. So highly encourage you, go watch his videos, check him out, subscribe to his channel, support him if you can. Ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching, Greg Doucette IP Pro, the usual bloops. Please watch those. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algo, and until next time, I am out.